Okay, guys, we're going to go over Dangerous Donny's 540 TFS 270 CNC heads after I did a ton of work to them. I don't think I'm going to show you my page with all my measurements and details, but I just put a little too much effort into that to just give that away. But I will be showing you everything through David Vizard and Stan Weiss's IOP program. And if you're really sharp, you'll be able to get a bunch of info out of here. So test 3 is Dangerous Donny's heads. We're going to take a look at CFM first. We're going to hit calculate graph. Come on, you can do it. I think I have that page open already. That's why it's not coming up. There we go. Okay, that's what we got. And yeah, we're coming out. It maxes out at 373 on the intake and 246, 247 on the exhaust. Nice looking curves. Let's move on. CFM per square inch. Okay, that's going to tell us our efficiency. Anything over 100% efficiency is pretty darn good. We got a nice bulge between, we are over 100%, up to like 500 lift, right in the meat of the curve on the intake. We're doing really well. Okay, they do level off, but that's when the port's already becoming saturated. SAECD, calculate, graph. Very similar curves. Intake turned out really well the way I did the bowl and the seat after I had some issues with it. Mean port velocity. This is pretty interesting. Yeah. DV likes 300. 300 is here. We're quite a bit above that on both ports. Really good curves on both ports. Intake's a little bit fast because it's relatively small for this size engine. Will that limit our top end? I'm going to say I don't think it's going to limit it as much as a lot of people think it will, because I worked on getting the airspeeds in the port pretty efficient, even at high flows. So I think it'll carry. I think it'll carry the RPM. We'll find out. Okay, port energy. To be honest, I can't remember a port that had 39 foot-pounds of energy per foot of port length. I'm going to guess that's good. I actually sent a couple of these pictures to DVs. I want to get his input on some of these. You would think the exhaust would be higher, but the way the program seems to work, we usually get a port about twice the port energy in foot-pounds on the intake than the exhaust. Well, here we're almost 4 times. It's a little bizarre. All right, now we're going to take a look at port energy density, which takes the port length out of the equation. See how that looks. They're right on top of each other, so they're both. If you take away the length of the two ports, right? The intake port's quite long. I think it's 6 inches, and the exhaust is really short. It's only 2.5. The port energy in both of those ports are right next to each other through the whole lift curve. I think that's really gonna. I think that's gonna work out really well. Okay, effective velocity is airspeed at the valve. Okay, we're almost 400 feet per second at the valve. And then we dip down and we come back up. And then we're saturated pretty much at this point. The swirl curve is kind of interesting because it's fairly low, right? It's fairly low. I mean, it's progressing decent, right? And then it takes off once it starts to lose it, right around 650 or so. You start to lose it on the short side. But if we go back, to our page here with our CFM. Let's just click this for a sec. Okay. We don't go down at all anymore. Now this is the same curve you guys have seen, but I just brought it out to 1 inch. All right, she goes 371, 371.4, 373, 373. That's really what you want to see. You want to see it keep going as it's lifting. You don't have any problems with going off the short side and dropping down anymore. I think that is going to let us push the RPM a little bit considering our minimum cross-sectional area. Okay, let's do our effective SAECD. Okay, very similar curves to our effective velocity, right? Very similar curves. Okay. Now we can take this, all of this info, and we can go to a different page. Let's shrink this down. Let's go to this page. Okay, mean port area is kind of small for a 540 or 538. And I had to fiddle with it. I couldn't remember exactly what the bore size was. We were testing on a 4.35. But this comes right out to almost 538, right? So I think this is where we are. I did increase our Mach number a bit. It's usually around 0.5. I think we can get a little more speed out of it than that. Does that actually change our speeds? I'm actually guessing a little bit on the compression ratio. I can't remember off the top of my head exactly what it's going to be. And they probably won't know until they totally button it up. But our mean piston speed is pretty quick. Okay, now I don't know if this is calculating this at shift RPM. That's actually a good question, right? I bet it is. I do expect it to peak out a little over 6,000. I think it'll carry to 65, no sweat. But I think we're going to peak out right around 6,000 RPM. So its best torque output is 789. I don't remember exactly what Joe got with that 512. I think it was over 700. I would expect, since we're almost 50 cubes more, I would expect like 50 more foot-pounds, to be honest, because these heads are going to work more efficiently, and I got that intake working really well. I think that's going to be pretty close. Cylinder head port area horsepower limitation 822. Cylinder head airflow horsepower limitation 835. I don't think we're going to get this high. I really don't. I mean, I would love it if we did, but I don't know if we're going to. We'll find out. Torque per cube, 1.46, not bad. Torque per liter, 89.5, not bad. Horsepower per cube, 1.55, not bad. Horsepower per liter, 94.7. All right, and that is going at a 371.4, which is pretty close to a 0.7-inch lift, right? I think that's where we were. All right, guys, so we'll be able to find out how accurate this is when it's all said and done. run the 3 different cams on there, one from Brian, one from Daniel, and one from David, and it should be real interesting. Now, I know I have a 950 carb for this. I don't know what carb they're going to be testing this with. What's your opinion on a 950 carb on this? Do you think that's big enough? All right, we should probably just make sure you guys read these, because you can't get anywhere close to these numbers without having, DV's Torque Master Cam program, or have a Cam Pro figure it all out. All right, guys, 11 minutes. I think we did all right with this. I can't think of anything else I need to do it. I fixed a little bit of valve job. I had an issue with all of them. When I polished the chambers are now set with the light texture around the intake, and the rest is all polished. I think I will just go through and check, make sure every seat concentricity is where it's supposed to be, because I'm pretty sure I did that when I first got them, and they were pretty good. I don't remember if I had to just touch the seats or not, but I won't let it go out unless they're in pretty good shape. If the customer wants me to go through and test every single port, he can get in touch with me and I can do that. That is an extra, but it would be interesting to see, because all of our flows are pretty much on port number 1, and they should be extremely close port to port, because I spent a lot of time making them even. All right, guys, thanks for hanging out. Have a good night.